Elizabeth Holmes is currently serving her 11-year sentence for fraud. She is the founder of the fraudulent biotech company Theranos, and she is set for release in 2032. But her husband, on the outside, is wasting no time in rebuilding her legacy and has started a new biotech company of his own. And it is in the same exact field. He is claiming that this company has a prototype to test small amounts of blood, urine, or saliva for diagnostic purposes. They're starting with pets, and hopefully in the next 3 years, at least so he claims, moving on to human trials.
It's like somebody coming out and being like, would you like to invest in Enron too?
So everyone was posting about this new piece in the New York Times about his new startup, saying, we're so back, Elizabeth Holmes is back. She is not on paper at all involved in this new biotech company, but I suspect that behind the scenes she is at least there in an advisory role.
Should she really be advising?
He's keeping the details very close to the chest. Elizabeth Holmes' partner has a new blood testing startup. His name is Billy Evans, by the way. They have 2 children, and they met back in 2017 during the whole unraveling of her company. This was before she was convicted, though. And just before she started her prison sentence, they quickly had these 2 children, which seems irresponsible to me, but it's not the first irresponsible thing she's done with her life. He's now trying to raise money for a testing company that promises human health optimization. And they actually do have investment. It's just really hard to ascertain who is investing millions of dollars into this company because they're keeping their names private, obviously due to how suspicious it all seems and the fact that they're connected to her.
I mean, that or you got a lot of money and you're drunk and you just decide to really take a risk one day.
You're just like, F it.
It's like me buying $2 worth of Mu Deng coin.
F it. Theranos 2.0. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Yeah. Yeah, this is a company called Hmanthis, which is the name of a flower also known as the blood lily, which is fitting for the concept.
Yes, I'm sure they spent a lot of time on that name.
Yeah.
Like everybody knows that's why you start a company. So
it's all about the name,
it's all about the name,
the logo, and the promotional materials. It's not really about the product, you know? And the product is suspiciously similar to the Edison mini lab that Theranos used. But the prototype photos are out. It does have a resemblance. And according to 2 investors pitched on the company who spoke on the condition of anonymity because they agreed to keep plans secret, they're testing pets for diseases before progressing on to humans. Billy Evans's marketing materials, which lay out hopes to eventually raise more than $50 million, say the ultimate goal is nothing short of human health optimization. It's not clear what the company means by that, though.
I mean, I really wish these companies would just say what they actually mean. Which is like the goal is maximizing profits. I would have a lot more respect for that.
So when they met, What?
Rob in the chat says, someone tell Justin about this new investment opportunity.
Yes! Justin Bieber needs to invest in Hmanthis. Yeah. So they're being very stealthy about it. But first of all, I think it's weird that they met while her company was crumbling. And
was it before she was on trial, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was while she was being investigated. They also have a sizable age gap. She's 41 and he is 33, and they have these 2 young children, so he's essentially a single father while she's in prison.
I retract my previous statement. He looks like he could be Tom Felton's doofy cousin.
He's the heir to a hotel fortune, which gives him, you know, the free...
Well, he likes the bad girls.
...room to kind of play around with his money. But they have not publicly discussed the new venture as a couple. Documents indicate that he has already assembled a team of about 10 employees, and it's only described on social media as a stealth startup.
What does that mean? What is stealth?
It just means we're not telling anybody anything.
Okay.
So
all my startups are stealth startups then.
James Breyer, a venture capitalist and early investor in Facebook, said that they were approached to put in money and decided against it for many of the same reasons that they passed on Theranos twice.
Gee, I wonder why.
And then they tried to find information about the other investors, and there was just very little to be found other than, I believe, a restaurant owner who lives in Austin, close to where she is in prison.
So I guess that whole point is like an earlier investor in Facebook is supposed to indicate that he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I guess.
And then Hmanthis has spoken out about the air of suspicion around their company and their ties to Elizabeth Holmes, posting this thread on X recently. Yes, our CEO, Billy Evans, is Elizabeth Holmes's partner. Skepticism is rational. We must clear a higher bar. When New York Times contacted us, we invited them to see our lab, tech, and team. They declined. The headline was already written, and our reality was inconvenient. So we will communicate directly, the unfiltered truth, no intermediaries. We prefer to build first and talk later. The science, when ready, will stand on its own merits, but we feel compelled to introduce ourselves because of recent media coverage. This is not Theranos 2.0. Theranos attempted to miniaturize existing tests. If you don't know all the details, basically she claimed that they could diagnose a number of serious illnesses with a finger prick amount of blood.
I mean, maybe the problem is like on top of being a fraud, it's the whole I want your blood thing.
Yeah.
That's a bad look for your company. Like,
our approach is fundamentally different. We use light to read the complete molecular story in biological
it
fluids,
sounds even
seeing
more
patterns current tests can't detect. Not an improvement, but a different paradigm. So in this prototype, they claim they're using laser technology to analyze samples that are more than just a finger prick of blood, to be fair to them. Setting the record straight, Elizabeth Holmes has zero involvement in Hmanthis. We've learned from her company's mistakes, but she has no role now or in the future.
Her company didn't make mistakes. She personally made mistakes.
I mean, she would be a great consultant to hire on about what not to do.
I sympathize with Elizabeth Holmes, and I don't know why. Maybe it's the Hulu TV show that kind of indoctrinated me to be a stan.
She didn't have a product to sell.
No, I know. I completely, like, I'm not saying that she wasn't a fraud. I just think it's kind of iconic the way it all happened. Because she took advantage of the girl boss culture that surrounded her. People wanted to compare her to Steve Jobs and put her in this black turtleneck,
No,
and they
she
put her
wanted to do that.
Okay, everyone else, there was an audience for it.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have succeeded at fooling everyone if there wasn't an audience that was eager to celebrate the next tech girl boss.
Listen to the really funny
Like, they
videos
weren't
where she's
questioning it.
deepening her voice on purpose, and then when
Yeah.
you hear her normal voice, which is not.
If you look at any of those old interviews or any of the crazy ways that she answered questions about the science behind her product, you would think, how did people fall for this? She was able to fool them because they wanted to believe it.
we need to
yeah.
get together.
So I don't really blame her. And they put her on magazine covers and glamorized it without questioning it. That's why I don't entirely place the blame on her shoulders.
We need to get together the stans of Elizabeth Holmes and the fans of Jordan Belfort, and they can all be friends together.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree. And, you know, it also is funny that her former employees were aware of the fact that they were working at a completely fraudulent startup, but then they portray themselves also to
As
be
victims,
victims of Theranos, which is bullshit. The victims of Theranos are the people who were misdiagnosed, the patients who believed that this technology was verifiable and real.
The new
The
one sounds
victims
just
are
as
not the
fake.
people who made money off of this venture. They knew what was going on behind the scenes. They knew the technology was bullshit, and they were part of hiding it. But she's the one, of course, who takes the fall at the end of the day because she was in charge, and that's fair. But there is a part of me that sympathizes with her because it was ripe for the taking, really. Like, in that culture in the late 2010s, people were all too thirsty to celebrate a tech founder girl boss who wears black turtlenecks and looks like a psychopath. They weren't ready to question what was going on behind the scenes because they just wanted to blindly celebrate it, and she took advantage of that. That wasn't entirely her fault, that was the culture at the time.
I've decided I now know the path forward for Meghan Markle. She needs to become a fraudulent tech girl boss. She needs to just start her own company that involves the testing of some bodily fluid that doesn't exist. And then after, she'll have to spend a couple of years in jail. But when she comes out, the money that will come in from rehabbing her image will be... Martha Stewart came out way better off than she went in. Let's face it. Everyone loves Martha Stewart still.
So, although the investor presentation makes no mention of Billy Evans's connection to Elizabeth Holmes, and that's to understate it, they are married after all, she does talk about her plans for when she gets out of prison in 2032.
What is she going to do?
In February, she did an interview with People magazine saying she does intend to resume her career in biotech after being released from prison.
Did she have a career in biotech?
And that she has been writing patents for new inventions while behind bars. So, forgive me if I find it a little hard to believe that she has no involvement in Hmanthis whatsoever, and no intention or plan of being involved once she's out. If it's not that, it's going to be something else.
She's a hotel heiress now. Just be a hotel.
It's not enough for her. She needs to get the credit.
Wasn't she totally fraudulent though? Like, does she have any ability to patent things, to invent things? I was under the impression that she had no idea what she was talking about or doing.
She's going to get a redemption arc.
She needs to work with Terrence Howard.
Oh, yeah.
He's got patents that don't really exist, but exist kind of. We need to get her and Terrence Howard and Jordan Belfort to all work together. They'll form the Avengers.
Didn't Terrence Howard say that 2 + 2 = 5?
We could talk to James Lindsay about
idiocy.
that.
And he was talking about how some numbers are bisexual.
Oh my God.
Well, he was there look, we're just not smart enough to understand.
He's clearly above our level intellectually.
He is.
So I'm just going to believe
numbers.
everything he says.
Yes.
Good grief.
The funnier version of this is she comes out and Elon Musk makes her have a baby. Has a baby
right,
with her.
Yeah.
She has a kid with Elon Musk.
Leave this hotel air guy and get with Elon.
And become an incubator for Elon Musk's future.
She's going to be post-menopause by the time she leaves prison. But, maybe behind bars they could work out a deal. Maybe that's a possibility.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.